right. Very good morning to you out there, and thanks for joining us on another edition of our program, Issues in the News. This is a platform where we dissect people's opinion on issues of national interest. And this morning, the issue we shall be treating is Ekiti issue. But before then, let's look at what is happening at the national scene. It is no more news that in a matter of days, the present administration... No. Before then, let's look at what is happening at the national scene. Like I said the other time, it was in the news that the Academic Staff Union of Universities, ASU, this morning embarked on a 2 weeks warning strike, while the federal government has threatened no work, no pay. Well, the ASU strike has become a recurring decimal in the country, and we do hope and pray that the federal government could find a lasting solution to the issue. And still in the news, last week, President Bola Adetunberu exercised his prerogative of mercy, granting clemency to 175 individuals, including 82 inmates who received presidential pardons, 65 inmates who had their sentences reduced, and 7 death row inmates whose sentences were commuted to life imprisonment. The beneficiaries include notable figures such as Herbert Macaulay, a Nigerian nationalist, Major General Maman Vatsa, a poet and former FCT minister, Ken Saro-Wiwa, and the Ogoli 9, who were executed in 1995. What many Nigerians were saying was that what is the purpose of this pardon granting these individuals who have been long dead? What is the purpose of granting pardon to someone like Herbert Macaulay, for instance, though his family I think this is a long-awaited pardon? Others who received presidential pardon included convicted individuals such as Farouk Lawan, a former House of Representatives member, Mariam Sanda, convicted of culpable homicide, Nweke Francis Chubueze, serving a life sentence for cocaine trafficking, and Dr. Wogu Peters, serving a 17-year sentence for fraud. To Farouk Lawan, many were of the opinion that this pardon could be associated to politics. We all remember the issue of Farouk Lawan, who was set up by Femi Otedola. Lawan, who represented a constituency in Kano in the House of Representatives, was accused of demanding $3 million from Femi Otedola, the billionaire businessman. And before let me not bore you with all these stories, let me quickly introduce to you my guest in the studio this morning, whom we shall be talking about these topics. And let me also tell you that we shall also be looking at the proposed protest by human rights activist Omoyele Shure for October 20, protesting, demanding for the freedom of IPOB leader Nnamdi Kanu. So let me quickly introduce to you my guest in the studio this morning, whom shall be talking about these topics, and particularly the Bao administration at 3. So let me introduce to you Dr. Dotun Adetunberu. He is a public affairs analyst. Welcome this morning.
Thank you.
I also have in the studio with me Prince Oluwatosin Jegede, who is a cyber security expert. Prince Jegede, welcome on the program.
Thank you very much, sir.
All right, let me quickly let our audience know that we are live on Facebook page. You can join us at Ekiti State Radio, and let me give you a background into the presidential pardon done by President Muhammadu Buhari before I allow my guest, President Bola Tinubu, before I allow my guest to comment on it. That of Farouk Lawan. Social media was abuzz at the time that it happened in 2012. The video clips showing Lawan stuffing words of currency notes in his traditional outfit and underneath his cap. He was arraigned on 7 counts of bribery by the Independent Corrupt Practices and Related Offences Commission. On June 22, 2021, a Federal Capital Territory FCT High Court in Apple convicted Lawan on 3 counts and sentenced him to 7 years in prison. In February 2022, a court appeal discharged and acquitted the former lawmaker on 2 of the 3 counts on which he was convicted. The appellate court affirmed his conviction on 1 count. The jail time was also reduced to 5 from 7 years. In January 2024, the Supreme Court affirmed Lawan's conviction and upheld the verdict of the Court of Appeal. In October 2024, he was released after serving 5 years jail term. The president's decision, as explained by the presidency, was based on the recommendation of the Presidential Advisory Committee on the Prerogative of Mercy, which considered factors such as age, e-health, behavior, good behavior, and wrong conviction. So, let me come to Dr. Adetunberu first, because I understand you are a former alumni president of Ekiti State University.
Yes.
And you are a doctor, PhD in
security studies.
Security study. Before we go to that aspect, let me quickly hear your opinion as regard the ASU strike that commenced today. How would you react to this as a former alumni, as a comrade? As a former alumni president and as a comrade.
And as a conflictologist.
Okay.
You see, the ASU strike, I would have loved to appeal to ASU to consider our children in the school currently. Because there's no way the strike will not have effects on the students. However, this is one of the few conflicts that I see as healthy conflicts. Because when you look at the history of ASU strike, it has brought a lot of development to the university, especially the ETF intervention fund in supporting infrastructure in all these universities. They are all product of a ASU conflict with federal government. So we cannot totally say that what they are asking for is wrong. They are demanding for their hand allowance. Between me and you, that's a positive demand. There is need for government to look at that. Also, there was an agreement between ASU and federal government in year 2009. My brother, there is need for government. We dragged this during the government of President Jonathan. We dragged it during the government of Buhari. And I know that President Bola Ahmed Tinubu promised while campaigning that there won't be any ASU strike. And I want to believe this is just a warning strike. It's not yet a full-blown strike of ASU. So I will plead with Mr. President to please intervene as a father of the nation. And I want to appeal to the Minister for Education. We must all come together to support Tinubu, to give him good advice. And let us see how we can address this issue of ASU strike, so that we will have a perfect system within our higher institutions. Let me use this to address that of Ekiti State University. Of all the requests, demands of ASU at federal level, Ekiti State University has satisfied all. We are only battling with hand allowance arrears that are yet to be paid, but they are paying it little by little. Then we are only affected with 2009 agreements. Except those two, ASU shouldn't have been involved in that strike. So we must commend the Vice Chancellor, both present and past, for all they have been doing. And I must commend the Governor of Ekiti State too. For his effort, he has increased the subvention of that university 3 times during his own regime. So I want to thank the governor for that. Thank you.
All right, before I go to the prince there, the federal government this morning, through the Minister of Education, has threatened no work, no pay. How will you react to this as a comrade?
You call it a threat. Past administration issues such threats.
But you know, as you join the president and the president and the administration of.
And what happened? President Tinubu came and paid.
Okay.
So it's normal to threaten them. That is the conflict. When you come and we attack you, then we face each other. But at the end of the day, we come to the round table and discuss and resolve all these issues. So all these threats, everything will still come to the round table to address it. I want to assure you, I trust President Tinubu. He won't allow it to go this far. Okay. Thank you.
All right. Yes, to Prince now, Prince Jegede. Recently, precisely on last week Thursday, President Bola Tinubu exercised this prerogative of mercy by granting some individuals, including late. We have that of Abba Macaulay granted pardon, and we saw the former rep member granted pardon. Some pundits have said, why is this coming at this time? In your own reaction, how will you react to this? Okay, let me put it that way.
Okay.
Pardon.
Let's start by saying that, like you said, it's the right of the president to exercise. It's part of the powers granted to the president by the electorate. He can exercise pardon at any point in time. So there is no right time, there is no bad time to do that. However, you could want to look at the pardons that were granted. In my own personal opinion, some are for people who have probably served their term. You could see that some pardon like that of Farouk Lawal in the class of that are political pardons. He already served the term and probably is interested in future political positions, and the law says that if you are a convicted individual, even if you have served your term, you are not eligible to any public office except you are pardoned. So I would consider that as a political pardon. There is also the pardon of people like Kesariwa. You definitely know that every Nigerian will definitely be in support of that, because most Nigerians are of the opinion that they are not supposed to be sentenced in the first instance. So pardoning them, it's, I think, the right thing. I also see that some people who had life, who are sentenced to death,
Life, yes.
they were committed to life imprisonment.
7 death row.
Yes, I personally don't believe in killing anybody for any reason. If somebody committed murder, killing the murderer is just like losing 2 lives. So why don't we stop it at 1 life and give the other person an opportunity to life? So I also support those that has death row. The pardon for people like late Abakari, I also think is in order. Yes, it's dead, but we all know that the sentence in the first place was actually political. So trying to right the wrong that was done in the past is right, but if a lot of other pardon are best known to because I won't say it's the president,
okay,
because the Council of State met and ratified the list, and the Council of State also acted based on a list that was put together by a particular committee.
Headed by Attorney General.
Headed by the Attorney General of the Federation. So you will not entirely say it's the fault of the president, because if the Council of State had met and said no, these ones are not supposed to be there, it won't be there. But some of the pardon are highly questionable, but it is what it is. The family are happy, and they got what everybody would want for their loved ones. So it's all good. Like I said, the president has simply done what he is elected to do, and granting pardon is part of his prerogative. Thank you.
Okay, let me take you to the issue of Herbert Macaulay. What will you think the president is trying to achieve with this? Abba Macaulay, this offense of Abba Macaulay, or what he was committed for, happened in 1913. 1913 is now, it's a lot of years. So what would the president trying to achieve with this, in your own thinking?
Yeah, Abba Macaulay is dead, he's late, but he has families. He has great-grandchildren. And that is always on the family, that he was convicted. And every time, and you know, when you are convicted, and even if you are dead, there's a shame put on your grave to show that this person died a convicted person. So it means that now there is pardon, the chain will be removed.
Okay.
And it means that the family, they no longer go around with that
shame,
with that guilt that he died a convicted person, because now he's been pardoned. So it's not about the person who was convicted. We also need to know that his family, his generation is also part of it. So granting pardon to him is you are not pardoning the dead, you are actually pardoning a generation of a long generation to come. So I think it's in line, and we all know that his conviction was actually done by our colonial masters. I don't think that I'm a lot against colonialism, and whatever they did here was to suppress our people, to keep them under check. And anyone who try to raise their voice against that oppression and suppression is treated the way Abakwakoli was treated. So it deserves to be pardoned, but for some of them, we will not have the freedom that we have now. We will not have the democracy that we have today. Probably we will still be under the colonial masters that will still be managing our resources. So I think it's worth it.
Okay, maybe lastly, before I leave this aspect of presidential pardon, out of those pardon, we know some are really worth it, like that of Abba Macaulay. But these people, like murderers, like these drug barons and others, where are we putting our morals? What signal is this sending to the society?
Well, like I said, it's actually a lot of things has to be looked into. Like we don't actually know I don't know how the detail of their offenses.
Okay.
But I can tell you that looking through the list, you are like, if you are pardoning 177 people and you have close to 100 that has to do with drug, murder, bribery, corruption, it's something that could call to question. And I think that the handlers of the president's information system needs to do more by trying to explain the mindset of those who put the list together, the mindset of the Council of State that eventually approved it, because I know that our Council of State is made up of our past leaders, our present leaders. Yes. So I don't expect them, I expect them to think the way I'm thinking, to like look at the list and say, why are we pardoning cocaine pushers, illegal miners, India M. So I believe that they will have also asked the same question before approving it and for the president to sign. However, that question they ask, the explanation that was provided, the citizen need to know. And like you said, he's talking about our moral, he's talking about our children, he's talking about the young ones who probably don't have a clear understanding of what the way I'm looking at it. So I think it's something that is on the spokesperson of the president, those who are managing the information of the federal government, to do more by throwing light on the reasons. Because when you look at the explanation of the presidency, it was talking about those who were wrongly convicted. So are we saying that some of those people on this particular list, some of them were wrongly convicted? Was there something that was later discovered about their conviction and stuff like that? But I think they need to do more. But generally, looking at that list on the surface comes with a bad taste. But however, I believe that those who decided to grant the pardon, especially the Council of State, because I won't put this on the president, because he did not single-handedly. There is a Council of State, there is a committee, there is the Ministry of Justice, there is the Ministry of Interior that was involved. Because those are in prison, the list must have been compiled by those in the Ministry of Interior, then passed to justice to the committee. So it's a long way down, but I think we need more explanation from government.
All right, thank you very much, Prince Jegede. You've done justice to that. Moving on, let me go to Dr. Adetunberu now. Yes, last week, the human rights activist and the former presidential candidate, African Action Congress, Omoyele Sowore, made his intention not to embark on a protest march to demand for the release of the leader of proscribed indigenous people of Biafra, Nnamdi Kanu, on the 20th of this month. And we also saw him met with President Goodluck Jonathan, former President Goodluck Jonathan, and solicited his support for the release of Kanu, who is currently facing treason charges You are a comrade. I know you are a comrade. How do you see this step by Sowore? What is he trying to achieve with all these?
Sowore is someone I have a soft spot for to a very large extent. However, I got irritated when he was with the abusive words he used on the president of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. So at that point, I started looking at him not only as an activist, but as anyway, he's a radical, but he shouldn't be a rascal, right? With his statements. However, his agitation Sowore is a politician. Yes, an activist.
He contested. He was once a presidential candidate.
Politicians will always want to harness every opportunity to gain more support. So Sowore is looking for a way to move southeast so that we get more support from that place. And the best he could do is to exploit that gap. Agitation for the release of Nnamdi Kanu. Already the Easterners have been agitating, calling on the president. Are you getting it? However, Kanu is a secessionist. And by virtue of his conduct, he was arrested, yes, and charged to court on terrorism charges. So he has to face it. If you're asking for my personal and objective opinion, I believe we should walk around the table for a political solution so that Kanu will be released. Sowore is just taking an advantage.
You also support that Kanu should be released?
Definitely.
Despite all his atrocities and the calling for Biafra.
We have pardoned some people of recent, so please let us put that into consideration.
Okay.
So I am of that opinion that President Tinubu should please consider him, but it should be released with conditions attached to it. It won't be fair for me to come here and say no, Kanu should not be released. Why? On one ground, as an activist, that should be my position, and I still maintain that. However, with condition, I emphasize. So that's just my position. To Sowore, from his own side, is just taking advantage of that gap and wants to make himself more popular, and that's just what the young man is doing. I will do the same thing if I'm not on this seat or where I am today. I will be more volatile than Sowore, but I will insult the president of the Federal Republic of Nigeria.
Like I said at the beginning, that I know you are a comrade.
Yes.
Yes. Okay. President Jegede, you have a contrary opinion.
Yes, I have a contrary opinion. I don't believe that Kanu should be released just like that. I think justice should be served. Now, the federal government is wrong for keeping somebody in detention without trial. Please let him be tried for his offense.
But we saw him face juries at some point.
The trial has never started.
Okay.
Let the trial start. Let him face trial. If the court find him guilty, let him face the music. I believe in justice.
Okay.
I don't believe he should just be released just because he's Kanu or because he claimed to be fighting for some people. I think if you arrest somebody, you should be able to try him, but arresting him and keeping him in custody for almost 4 years without trial, then if you are even trying him and you are spending 4 years to try somebody for an offense, then something is wrong. So we should, because if you're looking at international investor coming to a country, then your justice system is also very important, because anybody who's going to invest in your country want to be sure that if I come to your country, I can get justice if there is disagreement. So let him be tried. Let the court determine if he's guilty or not. If the court now determines that he's guilty, the president can also exercise his right, like he just did, to pardon him. But that time we will know that he has been found guilty and now he's pardoned. But if you know you don't have any case against him, why keep him? So if the federal government knows that there is no case against Sowore, let them allow him to go.
Against Nnamdi Kanu.
Against Nnamdi Kanu. If they don't have any case against him, let him go. But if you have a case against him, let him face justice.
All right, that is the public opinion, and I think the federal government can also see what to do there. So moving on, sir, because of our time, moving on, it is no more news that in a matter of days, the present administration in Ekiti State will be 3 years in office, and activities for the commemoration of the event is I think by now it should be in the public domain that the distribution of gratuity checks should be ongoing at the Legible Hall to our senior citizens, should be ongoing at the Legible Hall, and other activities lined up for the commemoration of the event. Just keep following this station for more updates. But let me now go to Dr. Adetunberu. This government, in a matter of days, precisely on Thursday, will be 3 years in office. Let's look at the government from inception. 3 years. It's not too early and not too late to assess the government. What has the government done to you that has affected you as a person in the last 3 years?
Thank you very much, Mr. Moderator. One, let me first lay a background for you. That 2014, 3 of us came together and agitated and canvassed for no-based, homegrown governance in Ekiti State, for the purpose of addressing the challenges of the people in Ekiti State. That was 2014. Myself, Prince Jegede, and late Barrister Kole Ajayi, before we now brought in other people. But 2022, to God be the glory, His Excellency Governor Biodun Abayomi Oyebanji emerged as the first home-based, homegrown governor to rule these states. And we have been watching the events of His Excellency as an agitator of that position. Since he came on board, one, the way he addressed, you just mentioned that he's going to pay gratuity. Governor Biodun Oyebanji has been paying backlog of pension arrears, gratuity to our parents. Some people came, they said yes, because the father happened to be a retiree. Are you getting the point? But then, he has addressed that issue. Other administration were holding them for no reason. But this man came, he paid. That is one. Two, the issue of our tertiary institutions.
Maybe before you go ahead,
yes,
sir, you said other administration have been owing the retirees. But I think Shegun only paid some big gratuities.
Let me continue. Maybe you get the point. Okay. Right.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay, let me take for instance. I was a local government staff. As at 2018, we were not paid for 6 months.
As at
2018, 6 months salary. We were not paid. Can you imagine? It was Governor Biodun Abayomi that came and started paying it little by little, and he has cleared all the 6 months arrears. As a local government staff, for 6 years, we have forgotten everything about leave bonus. Those are the emoluments we used to enjoy in the past. Leave bonus payment. 2018, it was stopped. But sometimes ago, I just saw leave bonus arrears. I have to call my people. Is this not a mistake? Governor Biodun Oyebanji has been paying it to all local government staffs. He has increased the salary of the health workers at the local government and state level. Not limited to that, the state workers that were held for about 4 months, 2018, he paid it. Do you know that the payment of these salaries is what goes into the cooperative contribution? And any worker in the state, right, they have to take loan because the salary is not enough to get them a building or to get them car. So we take loan. We believe in loan. So we subscribe to a cooperative. So when you want 6 months salary, there's no way it will not have effect on that. So when you see workers today in Ekiti State, in fact the local government workers, They were contributing money, 20,000, 30,000. They said they want to pay for his nomination form. And people were asking, what exactly has he done? I said, you don't know. When you owe somebody 6 months salary since 2018, are you saying there was no administration before then? But somebody came and started paying it. It's a reflection of an homegrown person who understands where the true pinch is. Not only that, let us look at agriculture. Since he came on board,
Maybe before you go to agriculture, sir.
I want to go to everywhere. I want to rush it.
I know because we have a limited time.
Yes.
So before you go to agriculture, I want to, because some people believe that payment of salary to civil servants is not a favor, that they work for it, they must be paid. So payment of salary to some they said it's not a favor, that they get the government got allocation from the federal government, then they should pay salaries. How do you react to this?
We were held in 2018. Were they not given a allocation? It depends on the priority of that government or the governor. This is what I'm saying. But he was paying, we are not thanking him for paying the current salary. He pays at the between 23, 24, 25. Nobody is even thanking him. But we are thanking him. If he chooses not to pay, we'll just be crying. And nothing will happen. But this man came, salary arrears of 2018, 2022, 2023, and he was paying it. It's commendable. Yes, it is our right. But somebody has denied us that right. That is just it. So let me quickly run down.
No, I'll still come to
3 years in administration of Dr.
I will still come to you.
Yes.
I will still come to you. Let me go to our security expert that we have in the house, President Jegede. The government of Oyebanji in 3 years has been able to maintain the peace that we have, and you are a security expert, cyber security expert. Let me put it that way. How do you think the governor has been able to fare in these aspects, ensuring security of the state?
Yeah, thank you very much.
And what's your assessment of the security?
Yeah, this is my view. I believe that in the last 3 years, Governor Adetunberu has achieved the fundamental thing that a government is elected to do, which is the security of citizens, the security of lives and property. Now let's look at it from this angle. Now this is what some people criticize him for, but in actual sense, it's actually the best thing he has done. He has successfully harmonized the political environment of the state. You know, I was part of the Jegede's administration. Thank God you mentioned it sometimes. I was part of his administration. I was deputy chief of staff in that administration.
Okay.
And I know what we faced politically. We all know how Ekiti was at that time. You know, when there is no political stability, insecurity is everywhere. Probably
because we have viable opposition in the state that time.
Do we need viable opposition or viable development? What we need is viable development. It's not opposition that is opposing you to make sure that there is no development. That was what we had in the 3 years of 3.5 or 3 years of Jegede. We have an opposition who is ensuring that there is no development in the state. But right now we have an opposition who is working with government to ensure that there is development, and this is made happen by Adetunberu because of his disposition, because of his homegrown knowledge of what Ekiti needs, because of him bringing all the political leaders together and letting everybody know that this is our state. Yes, we may have political disagreement, we may not agree politically, but can we agree on developing Ekiti state? So that's a major plus for his government. Because before you can talk about building road, building infrastructure, you need to talk about unity and peace first. And he has achieved that unity and peace in the last 3 years. I can assure you that. I'm not a member of his party, but will I campaign for him? Yes. Do I know the difference between now and when I was deputy chief of staff? Yes. Can I drive on the street of Ado-Ekiti at 12 midnight without fear or political harassment? Yes. Can I do that in 2008? No. So that is important. So when you look at security, and security has to do with people. If I don't have anything against you, will I attack you? If I don't see you as an enemy, will I come and attack you? So when you see political party, it does not stop opposition from playing their political opposition. But can we agree on one thing? And that's exactly what Oyebande has done. He has made all political parties to agree on one thing: its development.
Okay. Thank you very much. Because of our time, we are running against time, so I have
want to talk on security.
Comrade, I know before you were talking about, let me quickly remind our viewers and listeners at home that we are live on Facebook page. You can drop your comment there and we'll read it to your hearing. So, comrade, you were about talking about agriculture at that time. So
yes.
Maybe in just 2 minutes, you talk about security and agriculture that you want to.
Thank you very much. Just like my brother said, the major responsibility of any government is to protect lives and property. That is the constitutional responsibility of any government. In addendum to what you have said, Governor Yebanji, when he came, he brought all the security agencies together. There must be collaboration. There must be intelligence sharing. Don't come to me and say, oh, I've done this. Oh, this happened. He doesn't want crime to take place. But we must be proactive in preventing such. And this has helped a lot. So there is strong synergy between all the security agencies in Ekiti State. Nobody is interested in who takes the glory. The most important thing is we must curb crime. And this greatly has really helped us. You know, I was talking about the farm. When it came on board, we have about 5 to 7 farm settlements that were not even
Functional.
But today, we now have about 13 farm settlements and centers. In all these farm settlements and centers, we have security posts in all the farm settlements. That's why the issue of conflict has reduced. And two, there is returning checks in all the towns. From certain meters, we have identified the threat areas in the town, and we are working on it. So the government is doing serious job when it comes to issue of security, and he has put the right people in charge of that security. I must commend the special adviser Ogudano. I must commend the commissioner of police, director of DSS, the Amotekun, and he has recruited. You know, he established Agro Marshal to further collaborate the effort of the security agencies, right? The Peace Corps, all these were working together to give support to the architectural structure in the state to support him. Just like I said, when he came on board, we have about 7 farm settlement and centers. When it's farm settlement, they have building there where people can stay. That makes it different from farm centers. All of them, we have the security post there, and we have another one came with a SJ. She has farm centers in all the 16 local government where he has recruited 5,000 of our youth. When you take our youth away from the town and provide job for them, you make them useful to themselves, it will definitely reduce the crime in the state. That's why we have been rated the most peaceful state in Nigeria since October last year. We have always been topping that. We have always been on the top list. So we must give credit to His Excellency on that.
Okay, because we have less than 5 minutes left, let me go to Prince Jegede. While you were talking, you said you are not a member of Oyebanji's party. Am I right?
Yes, I'm not.
Okay, now.
No, I'm not.
If you have the opportunity to advise him going forward, because he has spent 3 years now and you've commended what he has done in the last 3 years, we have 1 year left in this first time. So going forward, what will be your advice to him if you have the opportunity of speaking to him?
if you have the opportunity of speaking to him, I'll tell him to work more on his information machinery. I see that there are a lot of things that he has done. It's either it's not being said or it's not being said properly. So I will advise him to ask those speaking for government to do more about speaking the language that the people understand and making sure they say it directly and ensuring, because sometimes what I've noticed with government is that it does not matter what you are doing as long as you are not communicating it correctly. Some people will still go around and say you are not doing it. You understand? So I think more should be done by putting the information out there for the citizen to know. Look at what my friend just said about the security architecture. Most of what he's saying now, I just heard it now, about how the security are working together, that the synergy between security agencies, the farm settlement, the security that has been provided for those farmers on the farm. The number of youths that were taken off the street, 5,000 youths taken off the street, those are direct employment.
By just one investor.
Those are direct employers.
And by the way, I'm taking about 3,000 again.
So that's what, then when you have those ones on the farm, you know that they will produce. Whatever they produce has to be sold by somebody. So we need to put that information out there for people to know what this government has achieved. People need to talk about, like, when some people will tell you that he's fraternizing with the opposition. But do you know that fraternizing with opposition is why you can sleep correctly in your house? Do you know how many people died during Jegede rerun election? Because of political instability. So it's important that he gets, that's the only advice I'll give him. As a governor, he has what it takes. He has the passion, he has the humanity, he has the understanding of how to talk to the people, and he's humble above all. So I believe that's what I will tell him if I have the opportunity of sitting with him.
All right, thank you very much, Prince Jegede. We are running out of time. We have less than 2 minutes left.
Okay.
So, Dr. Adetunberu, you are an alumni of EXU.
Yes.
Where Governor Ibandi is also an alumni of EXU. So I know one way or the other you might have had contact with him.
Yes.
And let me not say he's your friend. So now,
my boss.
Your boss. Okay. If you want to advise him going forward the next 1 year, that is to wrap up.
He has started well.
Okay.
He has been able to increase the IGR of this state from 600, 700, where he met it, to 3.5 billion. That's to tell you that the product from the farm is creating an impact on the GDP of the state. So I want to commend him. I want to thank him. Anywhere I'm not disappointed. You know, Governor Yebandi graduated from political science. So he understands it. A well-trained product of that university. So I want to commend him that he should please try and improve more. There's no perfection in life. He must continue to work harder for the well-being of the people. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much. It's been an interesting 45 minutes or thereabout on the program, and I have with me in the studio Dr. Adetunberu. And let me say thank you very much for coming on the program this morning. Dr. Dotun, thank you very much for coming on the program.
Thank you.
All right, I also have Prince Oluwatosin Jegede on the program with me this morning. Thank you very much for coming on the program.
Thank you very much, sir.
All right. In the last 45 minutes, we've been able to talk on the presidential pardon and other national issues, and also Governor Biodu Ibanji administration at 3. At 3, that has been our focus on the program this morning. We're sorry we won't be able to take call on the program this morning because our time is fast spent. So join me next week, Monday, for another edition of the program. But before I go, let me leave you with this message: do unto others as we have them do unto you, because life is in circle and positions are not permanent. Thank you very much. My name is Ademola Adeleke. Enjoy the rest of the week.